Next thing I want to do is have another indication about the price. Currently we've got whether it's 0 or not. I want to know whether it's high, medium or low. So why don't we use a formula to do that? So we'll insert a column and in here we'll do an expression. So if the list price, and I always like to go to the fields to insert the fields. If the list price, because notice it says fields exclamation list underscore price dot value. So if the list price is less than 200, then it's low. If it's less than 1000, then it's medium, and if not, it's high. So let's press the OK and preview that. So we can see that all of the zeros are low, and then when we get to a non-zero, we have a low for something that's just under 200 and a high which is above. Another way of doing that is by using the switch command statement, if you're familiar with that. And what switch does is it takes pairs of values like this, one condition and a value, and says if this is true, then give me that, and if not, give me that, and if not, give me that. And that does identically the same thing as those nested ifs. So that's another way of getting around the ifs and give you the result that you want. Notice that I put all of those line breaks. The computer doesn't care about the line breaks. It's good for presentation. Now what if I didn't want a textual indication of whether it's low, medium or high? What if I wanted a symbol? Well, we can do that as well. If we insert another column, and in here we insert an indicator. So we can have an indicator showing the number of stars, the number of bars. We can have 3, 4 or 5. We can have directional, symbol, shapes and ratings. So let's give it stars out of 5. So now right and click and indicator properties. So the value, we are going to be basing this on the list price. And you can see that when the list price is 0 to 20% of something, it's a little bit of a star and then more. So let's just see how that happens, how that works right now. So you can see that when it is a list price of 0, the star is not filled in at all. But when it's non-zero, you can see the filling in. So really it fills in according to the maximum of the other items. And the one that is the highest will be completely filled in. And ones which are fairly low will be not filled in. So that's another way of graphically indicating how much something is. So you might want to have a non-star type. You might want to change it to, say, the number of bars, for instance. So yeah, you can just play around with stuff. And that's a great thing about something like SSRS. You can experiment. You can go, actually, I didn't like this because, and change it to something that you do like. So here you can see 0 bars, and then we get to something where you can see 2 bars. You can see perhaps this is more effective than the filled in star. But what about another way of doing this? Well, there are other ways. If we insert another column, we can insert a data bar. So we'll have a sideways data bar. So you can see we can have data bars or data columns. So how can we get this bar to be reflective of the list price? Well, if I drag the list price over, you can see that this chart data appears. So if I just move some things out of the way, you can see that I've placed it in the values section. There's also a category section and series section. Those are more useful in full-blown graphs and just as an aside. But let's have a look, see what we got. So you can see that when it is 0, there is no bar, and when it's not 0, we have a bar. So this graphically again shows how big the price is. And obviously there is a correlation between here, the star rate, what was the star rating and is now the bar rating, and this bar showing the list price. There we can see there instantly, we can see that that is the maximum price. Now there are a lot of properties you can set. You can say I want this to go from 0 to the maximum for the entire tablix, or for each group, or you could say I want it to be logarithmic, I want the direction to be the other way around, there are all sorts of things you can do. And basically it's worth having a look at all of the options you can do and just experimenting, because it's very flexible and you can instantly see the results. You can see complex figures just instantly. You could see there what was 0, what was the maximum. You didn't need the numbers to tell you that. Another thing you can do is clicking on the bar, you can show data labels. So that tells you the figure. So you won't even need the list price column. If I take that, view report, because the list price is included in the bar. Now you might need to do some formatting on the list price, the data label as well, but you could see that it could be part of a more complex graph. You could have information shown instantly without needing all of these extra columns if you so wished.